Hello guys, this is your G Turn of the game and welcome to a new episode of Clash Mini.
Here is the best Archer Queen deck in the game and I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about it. This is my absolute favorite deck now in Clash Mini. I reached Diamond already by not buying any challenge coins, and I have also 43 challenge coins for the new update in Clash Mini, and it's using the Archer Queen. And now I'm explaining to you the strategy, what replacements can be made, what is the upgrade rules, what are the upgrade rules and orders, and everything you need to know in order to improve your win rate in Clash Mini. Let's start, Madeline.
Yeah, this strategy is looking amazing, and I would like to start with a very fast question from my side.
Go ahead.
Which is the most dangerous mini that you have in this deck? I think I know the answer, but I just want to be sure.
My most dangerous mini, of course, is the E-Wizard, because the E-Wizard will make the difference between me winning and me not winning the game, especially when I'm facing another E-Wizard. But the mini that deals most damage in my deck is usually the Giant Skeleton. The Giant Skeleton is a massive win condition at the moment. It's not only a tank, it's my only tank per se in this deck, but it is really good. But when it comes to positioning of the Giant Skeleton, I usually position the Giant Skeleton in front, in the middle of the map, to attract all the enemies around and then explode. And if I have the mirror map, I will mirror my Giant Skeleton every time if the mirror tile is on top of the screen. If the mirror tile is not on top of the screen, I usually mirror either the Archer Queen or the E-Wizard or the Archer, or in some cases the Bowler. But coming back to the Giant Skeleton, which one do you think is the first upgrade I make?
I think that the second one. Boom effects, a larger area?
Not necessarily, it depends on the situation. If I'm facing, for example, a Barbarian deck or a Monk deck, I would use Boom makes +2 damage, because everybody will gather around, all the enemies will gather around the Giant Skeleton, so I don't really need a bigger area. If not, I will go with a larger area, and the stun is usually my last in case the match goes into a fifth round. Okay, moving on, let's continue with another really critical mini in this deck is the Skeleton Guard. The Skeleton Guard is critical because it will save your ass in multiple situations, especially against the contest. And the Skeleton Guard is the only mini in this deck that you do not need to upgrade.
That's interesting.
Really important. So you can use the Skeleton Guard in 3 major situations. It can be replaced successfully with the Knight. Some people prefer the Knight. I prefer the Skeleton Guard because I usually have a lot of quests with the Skeleton Guard. So, situation number 1, you put the Skeleton Guard between the Archer Queen and the Archer to protect against an attack from the contest. Situation number 2, when the Miner comes, you put, if they do not have the contest, or if they do not have a Spear Goblin, you put all your backliners in a row and you put the Skeleton Guard behind them, and when the Miner comes, the Miner will attack the Skeleton Guard because the Skeleton Guard will protect against the Miner. And situation 3, if they have a Spear Goblin, you put the guard to protect your backliners. Is it understood?
Yeah. Absolutely, but I have a question here.
Yes,
let's assume that in the level you face the contest.
Yes.
Yeah, in the match we know contest is everywhere. What is your order? What minis are you using in the first round, let's say?
If I'm facing the contest, I try, if I'm lucky enough, to have the E-Wizard and then the guard. E-Wizard and guard against the contest, or Giant Skeleton and guard, because I know I want beefy minis against the guard, and especially minis that would do a lot of damage. But you know what, against the contest you usually lose the first round with this deck. But yeah, it depends. And however, this is a really good question. Usually I take the Skeleton Guard or the Giant Skeleton or the E-Wizard in most of my first rounds. Very rarely I use the Bowler, and very rarely I use the Archer. I use the Bowler when I'm in this Electro Valley and I know there's somebody on this Electropode and I want to delay the ultimate as much as possible. Okay, let's get now to the next minis. The Bowler. The Bowler can be replaced with a Dart Goblin. You will say, yeah, but it's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing. However, the Bowler, from my point of view, is not as critical in this deck as all the other minis. The Bowler will be simply used to try and delay an Electro Wizard in the Electro Valley, to try and do damage to everybody with his Clash ability, and to be a tank. That's what I use it for. It doesn't have to be upgraded as well, the Bowler.
This is why what I really wanted to ask you, but I want to ask you also about the Archer. Is it worth to have the Archer together with the Archer Queen in the same deck?
Necessary, not
really?
Not worth it. It's necessary because you will have nobody apart from the Archer Queen and the E-Wizard to deal damage to the backliners. And if you don't have the Archer and you're facing a deck with the Archer Queen, you're simply dead. The only one who will do damage to the Archer Queen of the opposing deck is your Archer. And your Archer is critical to upgrade him to star 1 at least, but I would say not necessary to have more than star 1 and have this attack hit 1 additional target. It's really, really, really important. So Archer is critical in this deck. And now, of course, the one and only, the Electro Wizard, if you face an Electro Wizard, you should make first priority to upgrade your Electro Wizard to 1 star and get Zap strikes up to 4 enemies. Clash Mini, Supercell promise they will nerf the E-Wizard. I hate the E-Wizard, but I have to use it because that's the only way you can win more in the arena. You won't ever see somebody being really, really good in the game with high amount of stars and trophies without the Electro Wizard, I promise you. The second Electro Wizard upgrade, Zap gains 4 Dissipate, is not necessarily needed from my point of view. I tried to use it, especially when I was facing another Electro Wizard to try to stun him and make him lose the energy he gathered. It doesn't work, for me at least. So first one is enough.
Okay, so up to now I can tell you that I was convinced, I am convinced that this deck is amazing. You can play with it and reach Diamond, but I know from the previous episode that this deck has a weak spot, and that weak spot is named the Miner. How do you stop the Miner?
It's the weak spot number 1 is the Miner. Weak spot number 2 is Miner combined to another hero. But let's talk about only to stop the Miner. So when you see that your opponent has a Miner and they don't have the contest, then as I said, you put all the backliners in a row on the, not the last position, but the next one on your board, and put a guard all the way in the corner, so he has to travel all the way to go around the backliners and go up, and then at some point he will meet the Miner. But I can promise, if the Miner is level 2 or 3 and they can hit multiple targets, they will most of the times beat you with the Miner. And especially if they have the Shield Maiden, you're dead. So if they have Shield Maiden and Miner, that's the very hard counter of this deck, I would say. Against Monk, against Barbarian King, and even against Contest, it's really good. But against Shield Maiden, and especially with the Miner, unfortunately, it's really bad. And please, you have.
Let's assume that your opponent doesn't have the Miner. In this condition, which is the worst opponent enemy for you?
I know that not a lot of people are using him, but the Magic Archer is also pretty bad for me. In case they are lucky with the positioning, they can hit all the backliners, they can hit the E-Wiz, they can hit the Archer Queen and so on. And also I really don't like to play against the Spear Goblin, only because if I play against the Spear Goblin, I have to take care of my positioning according to where the Spear Goblin is positioned. And of course, the usual answer, E-Wiz. I hate E-Wiz, so if I face E-Wiz, I'm gonna have a problem. Talking about positioning, as I said, I covered mostly the positioning of the Giant Skeleton, of the Guard. Archer Queen and Archer should be placed on the bottom position. Play your E-Wiz also on the bottom row, but be sure if you have E-Wiz at level 1 to protect him with something, so usually put him behind the Giant Skeleton, and the Bowler can be put as a frontliner to protect you from any Spear Goblins, and try to guess where your opponent will have the E-Wiz and hit it with the Bowler. That's the idea behind it.
Mentioned. Yeah, please.
Also, I wanted to mention that the Ice Wizard is doing quite well against this deck because it will slow down the opponent, my minis, and I don't like that. Yes, please.
Of course, you mentioned previously that this Electro Wizard is going to be nerfed in the future update. We have the confirmation from the Supercell team, together with a lot of new stuff, which is going to be part of the game soon. We can't wait for this new update, but please make sure that you are a subscriber in order to not miss our future episodes about Clash Mini. And also don't forget to like this episode and comment down below what is your opinion about this deck. Cosmin, you mentioned about Diamond 3, but I have a question. Is this strategy good for Rumble too?
For what?
For Rumble.
For Rumble, no. For Rumble, I would say no, because it's not very strong in the beginning, this deck. Of course, now it's strong because the E-Wizard is there, Giant Skeleton is OP, but to be honest, I would not prefer to play it against in Rumble, only in duels. And for me, it gives me a lot of good win streaks, most of them above 5 win streaks. So for me, I'm happy. As I said, I'm not paying to get challenge coins, and I saved a lot. I'm not playing daily, only for my quests, but I have a pretty good win rate with this deck. I would say something above 70-80% even. This was the end of it. This is the explanation of the deck. Go back to our video in which we played a really nice trick in the arena with this deck in Diamond. If you have any questions, let us know down below. Let me know what you think about this particular deck. Are you using it? No, I didn't create it. I stole it from somebody from YouTube, from multiple people actually were using it, but it was really good for me, and I stick with this for the complete season. What else, Madeline? Anything from your side?
Yes, I don't play the Archer Queen. I play the Contest. I know Contest together with T-Wiz, but I can't wait for the update. Guys, thank you for staying with us. Stay close, play Clash Mini, and until next time, see you.
And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.